Okay, so this video is going to be me after dark because I decided for some reason that I wanted to record. So, please ignore everything. Um, but this is an audiobook, so just listen and chill out, you know? Sorry. This is chapters 91 through 95 of 14 Ways to Die. 91. How much can I ignore before I'm the one to blame? Dad asks. I sit next to him and hold his hand, wondering what Francis's surprise visit has done to him. I saw you go in the alley, he says. I watched it this morning. I saw what those kids did to you. I'm sorry. Are you? Really? I know this is important to you, and I've tried to let you work through this yourself, but you keep doing reckless things. You're not making it easy for me, Jess. I know, but it's not easy for me either. You think I wanted to do this? I point to my hair, and Dad stares into his lap and nods. I didn't want to go into the alley. I had no choice. People are blaming me for Lorna's death, and I thought if I made myself the target, it would force his hand. If I showed I wasn't scared of him, maybe he would come for me, and then we could catch him. Dad starts pacing, then crouches next to me and says, It's my job to keep you safe, and I'm failing. This is it. This is my dad belatedly putting his foot down. But before he can, I say, I'm the one failing. We can do this differently. We can do it safely. Then I tell him what Ross and I have been planning. He listens without interrupting, nodding in all the right places, and when I'm done, he says, Okay, then. Why did you give that woman my phone number? I didn't think you used it anymore, and you never answered it when it was on. I guess that's the end of the conversation, but as I leave, he says, Don't delete the messages. It's a weird thing to say, but his voice sounds different, kinder, like it was when he used to whisper me to sleep, talking me out of whatever nightmare I'd had before I realized they weren't nightmares at all. I go upstairs, and when I check my phone, there are more missed calls and messages from Ross, and I make a promise to keep it with me from now on. I quickly read through them, then listen to a voicemail he left last night. What's the point of a secret phone if you never answer it, he says. Anyway, I have some news. Call me when you can. I should phone him right away, but I keep thinking about what Dad said, so I click on the old text, and what I find makes my heart stop. Can you get some chopped tomatoes on the way home? XXX. I love you, gorgeous. XXX. Don't forget it's Jess's play on Wednesday. They are messages from Mom. I can't see Dad's replies. Before smartphones, you couldn't read your text like it was the story of your life. Everything was a moment in time, and there was only enough space to save the best. Except Dad didn't know he should be saving them. That one day, too soon, the text would stop. I wonder how many times he read them before he stopped charging the phone. I try to imagine Mom speaking the words out loud. Her voice, like everything else, has faded over time. But it feels like I found a secret. It feels like she's come back to me just when I need her most. Her phone was never found, taken by whoever killed her, destroyed before it could be tracked. But at least now I have a glimpse of the moments she and Dad shared when they were apart. When I call Ross, he says, Finally, I'm almost done. We should be ready in another week or so. I hope this part of the plan goes better than the last. I hope when I go back to school that Monday's show is already old news, even if that's too much to wish for. I owe you, I tell Ross, and then I call Francis Banks. Hello? Hi, I say. You probably didn't expect to hear from me so soon. There's silence then. Jessica? Look, I totally understand if you don't want to, but we're doing something. With your help, we can catch him. 92. Their names are Becca and Taryn, the girls who cornered me at the wrong end of the alley, the ones who laughed while the boys did their dirty work. When I see them walking toward me, I sneak into the bathroom, but when the door swings open, I know they followed, and I wait for the song to start again, planning what to do if they hit me. Becca reaches into her bag, and when she pulls her hand out, I flinch. She pulls something into my chest and says, You're sick. What? Don't think I won't show the police. I have no idea what she's talking about until she lets whatever she's holding fall to the floor, and I see it and step back and cry out. Where'd you get that? I ask. The girls look at each other, a silent message passing between them, then Becca says, Don't act dumb. I've never seen that before. If I had, I would remember. On the ground between us, a Polaroid picture of a body none of us want to look at, a reminder that this is not a game. I force myself to look harder, but it's not my mom. The woman in the photo has blonde hair. That's all I can make out before I have to look away again. How do you know where I live? Becca asks. When I don't answer, Terrence says, I bet it was you. I bet you killed those women. I was 7, I say, and for a second I almost laugh because how stupid can she be? But the image on the floor means laughing isn't an option. When did you get it? I ask. Yesterday, Becca says. It was under the front door. There's something on the back. I know it was you. I pick it up and turn it over. In small black capitals it says, One for Sorrow, the song they were taunting me with. Now someone is singing it back to them. Have you shown anyone else? I ask. Becca grins and says, Not yet, but I will. I need to give this to the police, I say, thinking of Lorraine, imagining how she'll react to an actual clue. But Becca snatches it back and says, I'm showing the police, and I'm telling them it was you. It wasn't, I whisper, but whatever they think, I don't care as long as they tell the right people. The Magpie Man took it. He has kept it for years. If anything has his DNA on, it's this. I'll come with you, I say. What? I'll come with you to the police station. Call them now. The girls look at each other. Whatever they expected when they cornered me, it wasn't this. Behind them the door opens, and a 6th grader sees us, turns, and walks out again. Maybe it wasn't her, Terrence says. Becca shivers, or maybe she's playing us. But I already have my phone out, dialing the number on Lorraine's card that's still in my purse. When she hears me leaving a message, Becca throws the photo back on the floor, and they leave in silence. Without their boyfriends, they're as scared as I am. But my fear is just getting started because the Magpie Man knows where she lives. He walked right up to her door and left that. I think back to the warning written across Sarah's article. I'll show you how pathetic I am, and realize there is more to come. 93. I hand Lorraine the photo without saying a word, and her face changes so quickly, so completely that I know I've done the right thing. Where did you get this? She asks, so I tell her everything. I'll need to speak to the other girls. I only know their first names, I say. You'll have to talk to Mrs. Bradley. I can't help smiling at the thought of the police turning up on Becca's doorstep. She will have to explain that night in the alley, the song she sang, the fact that the Magpie Man was listening. Is he angry that someone else is taunting me? Does he want me all to himself? And how did he know Becca's address? He must live close by, and he must be up early before people leave for school, or late when everyone else is asleep. You wouldn't risk leaving something like that in daylight. He responded to my makeup video. He killed 2 months early, and now this. Is he rattled? Is what I'm doing working after all? He did this to mess with the girls who messed with me, and that is both exciting and terrifying. 94. It's bold, Danny says when I tell him the plan. I might need extra cameras, but we can do it? Of course we can, it's brilliant. One other thing, I say. Do we have a budget? Danny laughs. How much are we talking? Enough to make a statement. Then I call Ross and we figure out specifics. It's hard not to tell Emily or Hannah, but the best shocks catch everyone by surprise, and I want theirs to be genuine. We need to do this now. We need to go to the next level before the Magpie Man strikes again. The woman in the photograph was Sandra Stoneman, number 12 on his list. The police haven't found any DNA, but they know more than they used to. They know he keeps pictures of his victims. Now they are calling him a collector, the search narrowing to people with a passion for Polaroid cameras, for those who see beauty in terror. I've thought of Mom's Polaroid so many times, wondering if I'll ever see it, wondering if I want to. But seeing Sandra Stoneham's body and the message that went with it, I know it's time for the next part of the plan. I've got his attention. Now I need to catch him. 95. On Sunday night, Ross calls me and tells me everyone is ready. He asks how I'm feeling, and with a wave of nausea creeping up my throat, I pretend I'm absolutely fine. I can't sleep, but I must have dozed off because when my alarm wakes me at 6 a.m., I jump up in a panic like I've missed the whole thing. Okay, I whisper, it's showtime. I should eat breakfast because it's going to be a busy morning, but the thought makes my stomach turn. I'm too anxious about what we're going to do to think about cereal. Instead, I shower, get dressed, and wait for the doorbell to ring. I pause for a second before opening it, worried what I might see. Then I turn and pull, and Ross is standing there with a huge smile on his face. "We're here," he says, and I can't believe my eyes. There must be at least 30 people, and when Ross catches me staring, he says 43, and then, "I've been busy." I smile and step aside, letting stranger after stranger into my house. Only they aren't strangers. I recognize so many of their faces from newspaper clippings and television reports, from social media appeals and my own dusty dreams. These are the left behind, the parents and grandparents and brothers and sisters and children of the Magpie Man victims. Don't ask me how, but Ross got them all to agree. He found me, and then he found everyone else. Last in, hanging back, is Frances Banks. "I'm glad you came," I say, and she nods. "I had to."